tonight brings us back to another episode on Xpeng stock for three main reasons. One, we have some interesting news to report on. Two, people do keep asking me on loads of different places on Discord or in the YouTube comment section what my personal price target for this one is. And three, just because the video tends to get a lot of, publicity, if you will. A lot of people are interested in this company, and I don't think a lot of people on YouTube are covering it, which is something we can use to our advantage. But what that means is we have to make these videos as good as possible, and that is what I always intend to do. So if you want to see some quality YouTube videos on all kinds of stocks, please do subscribe. You can see we are basically on about 550 now, obviously just under, but we are trying to get to 1,000. Honestly, we are killing it though. But if you could just help us move up the ranks a little bit faster, get to that 1,000, it would not go amiss. So please just press the button and subscribe. Feel free to share it with your friends and family and whatnot. And yeah, we're going to be having a quick look into Xpeng. Another thing is, of course, if you want to come and join the Discord where we have been talking about Xpeng tonight, literally just a few minutes ago, link is in the description. It's completely free to join. We've got a friendly community and a lot of people on there do actually like the stock. So yeah, first things first, before we look at the actual share price at the minute and then give our little forecast and our reasons for that, I asked you guys what your opinions were for Xpeng stock predictions in the future, basically where you think it was going to hit. So we've got one guy on there, I can't actually remember his name, but he does talk to us about Xpeng all the time, and I appreciate that because he knows so much about the stock, so shout out to him. You know who you are. But yeah, he did say that he is seeing a price target of potentially around $60, and that is due to Xpilot 3.0 coming out, and of course that's something which we're going to be talking about in just a moment, and of course that could potentially be a catalyst behind it. But there are a few other factors to consider, but we're going to be diving into those in a minute. So yeah, if we just have a quick, really quick, we're not going to look at this too much, just a really quick analysis of the share price. If we're looking out to the past 6 months to get a larger perspective of how the share price has actually been moving, we can see from about August, and we have kind of been quite flat with small dips for whatever reason down to basically zero. I'm sure that's a glitch in the Google system, but you can see we have been relatively flat. I mean, yes, it has been relatively volatile when we look at these, peaks and troughs, if you will. We're seeing price around $19, $20, spikes up to about $22. But relatively between about, let's say, $15 and $20, perhaps a bit higher than that even. But we can see here around this point on the 30th of October was the start of a huge outbreak in the share price. And I think this was due to, I could be wrong though, please don't quote me on this, I can't remember if this was Neo, but I think it was due to Deutsche Bank, was it, giving a new update on the price target. But we also have a few other interesting pieces of news to talk about as well. But yeah, for whatever reason, the share price did take an explosive rise all the way up to about $34 where we're at now, perhaps a bit higher before it came crashing down for obvious reasons with selling off, but we can see that's quite the gain. And people have been asking me what you should do with this stock. Shall I buy? Shall I sell now? Shall I take profits? Whatnot? But this is just my personal opinion. So before we have a quick look at what the actual analysts think and why, we're going to have a quick look at my opinion. And my opinion on this is, yes, this is going to be a volatile stock. So perhaps if you're going to day trade it or whatnot, no, this is probably not the company for you. Yes, you can take big profits from it on a daily basis. If we have a quick look down to how the price has been moving over the past month, let's have a look because that's kind of more stable. We are seeing this company go up, and go down, but of course it's going up and going down quite quickly. So yes, with other companies we are seeing, especially the bigger companies, we see more, predictable movements when we're looking at things like, for example, I know it's not necessarily the most predictable, but it's a fair comparison. Tesla is one of those which, the price is so large, losing a few dollars does not necessarily mean a lot, and we can tell which news events are going to hype up Tesla, right? And that is why that could potentially be a more stable investment. However, Neo is growing at, Xpeng, I did know the answer to that. Xpeng is growing at quite the extreme rate, and that could potentially bring a lot of volatility. So if you're going to day trade this, don't do it, in my opinion. But from an actual price target, I can definitely see this going over $60 in the next few years. They are shipping out cars to Europe. The cars which they are shipping out do look fairly, decent, if you will. I think in Europe especially, the crossover is going to sell quite decently. And I think all over the world, the P7 is going to be a good seller because I think a lot of people all over the world do like that kind of generic, if you will, forgive me for saying that, kind of sedan look, if you will. So we've got things like BMW 5 Series, Mercedes E-Class. These cars are popular all over the world, and I think this could potentially be in that market. A similar thing to what we're seeing with the Tesla Model 3. I really do believe it does have that kind of potential. So let's have a look at an actual buy rating from analysts. So we actually now have 8 analysts which are offering a 12-month forecast for Xpeng. They have a median, which is in the middle, of course, target of $169.20 with a low of 140.06 cents and a high of 232.07. So the highest there will represent a 578.8% increase, with the lowest even representing about 300%. So even on the low side, we are looking at huge increases if this prediction is correct. But of course, again, this is just somebody else's opinion and this could change. But what we do have is a nice graph. When people do ask me, like I said, is it a good time to buy it or sell it? We actually have the analysts on screen. I think each one of these had given a prediction. So we now have 8 which are looking at recommendations. Anyway, generally speaking, the census is to buy. So most of these people are saying buy. And if we have a look down to the breakdown of what they are saying, we can see, generally speaking, we have just had more analysts looking at this. And ever since September, all of these analysts have been saying buy. So now we have actually had another analyst look at this with a different opinion, but still that is a hold. So that's saying not necessarily buy it, but if you already have it, don't be too concerned and still do hold it. But generally speaking, 7 out of 8 are saying buy. So take what you will from that, whether it is a buy or not. Looking at sales and earnings per share like we did last night or the night before, I can't remember which one it was, we can see that the company is still in debt, not necessarily a bad thing. And of course, this could potentially be a good thing. So when people ask me why this could rise in the future, people forget things like this. Earnings per quarter and per share are things people do look at. So if this goes to positive, if the earnings per share do go up to a positive number, people will be, having a reason to get into this one. So that is something definitely to consider, in my opinion, and something which you should consider. And this is something that has not happened yet. So when this does go positive, we are potentially looking at increases. So another thing is for the cars. The cars now have an update coming out soon. I think it is first quarter 2021. And this is going to be Xpilot 3.0. So of course this will be available on each one of the cars, and it's very easy to find out what this is on YouTube. I think they even have their own YouTube channel where they document this, but simply put, it's basically similar to Tesla Autopilot from what I can guess, but kind of better. Of course, don't quote me on that because we are not here to look at that feature, but that could potentially, and I think a lot of the people in the Discord are saying that it's something they can see tipping this over the edge. So I just thought I'd give you my opinion after a lot of people have been commenting it, and of course it does take a lot of time to reply to those comments, so why not make it in a quick video. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to check out last time's Xpeng video. We had a look at all of the financials, I do believe, and we are going to be making some more in the future. So thank you for your time. Feel free to come and join us on Discord. Link to the Discord is down below. It's completely free, and if you could help us out by subscribing, it would not go amiss. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're over halfway there now, so it's basically in the horizon. So if you could just make it happen a little bit faster, wouldn't go amiss. Thank you. Goodbye.